This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today I've got special guest Lichi with me. How you doing, Lichi?
Hey, doing good.
Good to hear. You approached me with your own Dorbickmon list. You're so confident. This is before the UItimate Cup that you're playing this weekend, and you think it needs to be shown off. So you're like, all right, record it, and then we're going to drop it while you're playing to just see how you're doing and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like a small experiment I had on the start of EX3, and so far it's been looking good. I think the deck is viable enough to play on the format.
Cool. Well, hopefully you're right, and hopefully I get some views on this video. But do you just showing me the video in the first, or the deck list in the first place? It was really interesting, and I saw some combos, but obviously you'd know all of them, and we definitely want to go over it. So let's just start off with the deck list itself.
All right. I'll do the card by card.
Sure.
Starting with the eggs, I only play 4 eggs. It's just the Digimon that 6k DP or more lets you draw one. This deck loves draw, so this will help facilitate it. And then I play a playset of the Gilmon starter deck Gilmon that lets you draw when something gets deleted. So again, on the side of being able to draw.
Yep, and now no, I'm guessing no Gallantmons to go into in this list, right?
No.
Okay. And is it part of one of the Dorbickmon requirements for that Gilmon?
So this is the only one of the parts of the deck that can't be digicrossed with Dorbickmon, since this has a reptile trait on it.
Okay.
But its evolution, or its side evolution, Gilmon X, is part of Dorbickmon's digicross requirements.
Okay.
So
that's really weird, but it works out.
Yeah, because this is like a dark dragon, so it works out with it.
Okay.
But I'll explain a bit later why I want Gilmon X over Gilmon. But then next we have Vorvomon. Inheritable is the one you want here. Delete a 3k DP or less when attacking, and to round off the rookies, have Agumon here. When attacking opponent, gain plus 2k DP. And these, all of these from Gilmon X, Vorvomon, and Agumon are part of Dorbickmon's Digicross requirements.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
cool.
Those are the rookies. Now for the level 4s, Greymon. This is a BT1 Greymon from the old days. Gain plus 2k DP on your turn. So we're just looking for be able to digicross with Dorbick for this one. And the plus 2k DP is really nice. And now we do Growlmon. When something is deleted, gain a memory. Okay. So most of these cards are really in sync with Dorbickmon. And now we do Growlmon X to maybe Evo on top of Growlmon. But so you see here with Gilmon X and Growlmon X, you could potentially delete a 15k DP with a Dorbickmon drop, even more, possibly like 17k DP.
Yeah, because they both have inheritables that increase the DP reduction, or the DP deletion effects of any of your cards.
And now for the spicy one, the one that facilitates your top, we have Flame Dramon. This card, what you're really looking for is the end of turn DNA Digivolution, which will show the top end for a bit, or in a short while.
Okay.
So these are the level 4s I'm running.
And are all these Dorbickmon materials as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So they are all Dorbick requirements.
Good.
For level 5s, I run 1 copy of Savior Huckmon. I'll explain a bit later why this is, but this is also a Dorbick Digicross requirement. And we do run 3 copies of the new Voltramon. This is the Voltramon that gives you the inheritable to draw 1. Again,
gotcha.
Drawing cards from for this deck is really important. Now we do 3 copies of Lavo Garritamon. What you want on this one is the gain 1 memory if something is deleted.
Okay.
So yeah, this really pairs well with the Growlmon together, which you could play Dorbickmon for 1, 2 cost, or maybe even free sometimes. And now for the top end, so these are the level 5s, the top end for level 6s, playing 3 copies of Black War Greymon. Nothing too much for Black War Greymon. What you really want from Black War Greymon is he is a Dorbickmon requirement, and he has the color black with him to pair along with him. And of course, the main Digimon of the deck, Dorbickmon. I do run 4 copies of it because he himself you could use as Digicross requirement for him. You don't mind having too much. Yeah, you don't mind having too much of this card. And the top end is Ragnar Lordmon.
From the starter decks, right?
Yeah, from the starter deck. So this is why we want to run the Flame Dramon, because end of turn, you could instantly drop a Dorbickmon with, let's say, a Dorbickmon with a Flame Dramon inheritable, and you could just trash your opponent's security, and Ragnar could just blitz for a game.
Yeah.
And now, one of the simplest combo the deck could do is you make a stack in the raising area, which has Gilmon X, or Growlmon X. As long as the stack has six overall sources on it, when you do your Dorbick drop, essentially it's gonna with Ragnar Lordmon as the ender, you could thrash 3 from your opponent's security and just blitz for a game.
Yeah.
Which is like a really deadly combo. And what Dorbickmon kind of lacks as a card, which is like a finisher. So yeah, more into that one, I guess, if we want to explain a little bit more into the combo. And to end my Digimon line, I ran 4 copies of Sistermon Blanc.
Okay.
Now, yeah, she is just an amazing card for cycling through your deck and just trashing whichever you have in your hand that you don't need, and just drawing 2 more cards. And that's why we run the 1 copy of the limited Savior Hawkmon, just in case. Yeah, you have the play to Evo, play a Sistermon Blanc for free, cycle through your deck, and gain your pieces for the Dorbickmon.
Yeah, because you can just play it and then pitch 1 to draw 2, which is quite nice.
And just to end it, 3 copies of Red Man Boost and 2 copies of Ultimate Flare, because Melgarurumon is a really nasty deck and we want to somehow counter it. And yeah, that is the deck list. Oh, and just in case, because this card is hard to play from hand, but you really don't need to play this card from hand. What most of the time you could do is just play a Sistermon Blanc, trash your Flare from hand, and you draw 2 cards, which most of them are Dorbick requirements.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of Dorbick requirements for this. And then, so just to kind of reiterate, the main combo for this is to use the Dorbick, you Digicross into it, and then as long as you have the Flame Dramon as one of the sources for one of the level 6s out there, you can just, DNA into the Ragna and go from there, right?
Yeah, so it's essentially just like, even if you pass turn, you could just tell your opponent, all right, that's GG. If you have 3 security left, we'll trash all 3, and this will just blitz for game.
Yeah.
And and you could essentially just do what I would like most of the time to do is just drop a Sistermon Blanc, chip the Blancs for 1 check, and it's a like unrisky swing for this to just die, and have my stack in raising and just wait for a bit. And once I have my pieces, like so essentially you just need to chip twice. Maybe hopefully you have the Sistermon Blanc to chip twice, but if not, Like that's why we kind of want to play the Greymon and the Agumon, the plus 2k buff, to have like a safe 14k DP swing before you do your combo.
Yeah, because that boost helps you there, and yeah, it looks like a really good combo. Like once you, if your opponent gives you enough time for stuff like this, like there's almost no interaction because it pops cards too, which can be blockers, and like something like anything that could be risky and security, you just trash it. You don't actually check it, right?
Yeah. So alongside with Ragnar's other effect, which will just delete up to 3 play cost of 20 or less. So you could even just wipe a board if you really want before going for game.
Yeah. So what would you say quickly? What are the matchups you're looking towards for this deck, and which are the tricky ones for it?
So matchup wise, it plays well into most matchups. Actually green, because you kind of punish them for dropping a lot of stuff, especially like Bloomlord, I would say. Once they commit to Digimon, and this Digimon is essentially just a force with legs.
Yeah.
Because you pop something and you rush, and hopefully you have a Vorvomon that pops another thing, and you stall their progress for their game. But it is weak to certain decks though. Like I would say anything that is has resistance to deletion. That would be Gaiomon, Chaos Dramon, or Machine Dramon decks. And even Examon. Those are really tricky. Once they have their stack and they have especially like blockers around. There's little you could do.
Yeah, and endgame Examon most of the time seems like a nightmare. So I don't think that's a necessarily unique weakness to this list, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and any fast decks, I would say that's why we run the flares to have like that get out of jail card in case they do have their combo fast enough and they start swinging. Because this deck runs a little bit more mid range.
Sure.
And I would say Dorbickmon also is a high it's a little bit risky if you play this card early, because what essentially Dorbickmon does as a card is burn 6 cards from your hand.
Yeah.
And that's why we want like a whole bunch of draws from this deck.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not, I mean, you get a big bad boy for cheap, but the cost is just quote unquote discarding those cards, even though those inheritables can be really valuable at the same time.
But yeah, we have some ways to mitigate the drawback of Dorbickmon, which is Voltramon, Gilmon for the extra draw, and Gurimon for draw. So there's just a whole bunch of draw in the deck to mitigate what he does.
For sure. Well, cool. I really like this deck. I hadn't seen it before you suggested it, so that's really cool. And any closing thoughts before running it this weekend?
No, I'm just here to test this deck out, have fun on Ulti Cup.
Yeah.
Hopefully top with it, and you guys will have like a nice surprise with this deck list video afterwards.
Oh, cool. Well, really appreciate you taking the time, and thank you again for reaching out, and that will be it for us. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it, and we'll catch you all next time.